everything done. We are in the boardroom now, taking decisions and making same. Women are now coming out to express themselves politically, and in so doing, they are occupying positions that were formerly occupied by men. And now we are very happy that they are coming out.
African traditions and religions have proved valuable resources to empower women as agents for sustaining the integrity of creation as they continue to break bounds and stand out in their different fields. It is on this note that African leaders should be concerted in encouraging women empowerment and creating gender equality, which some people are still bent to appreciate.
I would like government to recognize our contributions. People say, educate the woman, you educate the nation.
Everybody is equal, at least by reason of humanity.
I plead with the government that they should not pull women aside. They have what to offer. They should give them equal opportunity to interact. Creating equality in appointments, academically and generally. Women should be allowed to voice out their views.
There are some what women can't do, in as much as they want to drag it. So when it comes to that point, that's when they want to shy away for the men to do it. So at the end of the day, what was the point of the equality? 70 to 30% is not bad. I mean, equal rights to women. Even the Bible says that the men are the head. So that headship must remain.
The 2023 Pan-African Women's Day is celebrated on the theme Digital, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. By raising your voice for women's rights and gender equality, you can spread awareness and break barriers. So, speak up. Margaret Bassey, AKBC News.
Yeah, historically, Pan-African women have a rich history of activism and leadership. From the anti-colonial struggle, women have played vital roles in shaping the destiny of their nations. You know, figures like Winnie Mandela, who stood by the husband for that lengthy years to struggle for freedom.
The Liberian president.
Yes, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You know, we have women like that. Adiara Udo Udoma. We also have
complete. You just completed it. Okay.
You know, and you talk about gender equality. Women, Pan-African women, have been on the forefront. You know, speaking that women's voice should be heard. Our places are not longer in the bedroom. It's not longer in the other room and not in the kitchen again. We have a whole lot to contribute. We have the power, we have the capacity, and so we, for the Pan-African women, have been on the forefront that women should be given a chance to express what God has given them, to bring it out. And so,
but you know, a lot of people feel that if women are given a chance, they can overtake the world because of the amazing overzealousness that they have. But then, you know, when we look at the women's innate potential, it's not only in what they can do. You find out that they have the strength, natural strength, that they can
just give it to us.
I mean, there's nothing absolutely they cannot do. So I would like to also say that even as these women are given time to be celebrated, they should also be carried along, you know, in almost everything, in politics, in development, in
you talk about 30%,
everything.
You know, 30%.
Is it 30% or 35%?
Okay, 35%.
Have they even reached? Have they even reached 20%?
Even the 35% is not even enough.
Yeah.
For what we can offer. You know, we have enough to offer. We have a lot to offer. Just give a woman a chance, and then, you know, you would
celebrate. For example, you see, in a year, how many days do we have? I mean, do you women have to be celebrated as compared to men? Women, Mother's Day, Women's Day, and all of that. You want to count them? Well, we celebrate the women, and we ask that wherever you are, please celebrate women, and especially those women that have made us proud. But moving on, civilization has nearly extinct cultural heritage and traditional practices among some indigenous people in Africa. But the Kayan tribe in Myanmar has left no stone unturned in preserving the ancient customs of their women wearing neck rings to achieve long neck associated with elegance. Not only has the younger generation preserved the tradition, it has become a global spectacle of tourist attraction as well as source of revenue. Augusta Essien tells us more.
The neck, which connects the head to the other parts of the body with all the blood veins needed by the brain, may be the most vulnerable part of the body. All mammals, including humans, have 7 bones in their necks, whether they are short or long like the giraffes, that helps them reach leaves and branches in tall trees. The neck is said to be the great shock absorber and a great mechanism for decelerating the movement of the head. Hence, having strong neck muscles can help control the whipping motion of the head, which in turn controls the velocity of the brain moving inside the skull. This perhaps explains why women are usually referred to as the neck in the home, while the men are the head, because they are the homemakers. Long neck has some advantages. It allows for the head to move freely on the body, making seeing afar easier and at all directions. Nowadays, models often have long necks so they can parade all collections of clothes looking airy and dimensional. However, for the women of the Kayang tribe in Myanmar, having a long neck is a cultural practice. They wear brass coil around their necks their entire lives in order to lengthen it. The belief is the longer the neck, the more beautiful the woman is.
In northwest Thailand, close to the Burmese border, lies a refugee camp. It harbors an unusual tribe. Stretched necks and shackled limbs define these women as Padang. For centuries, the Padang women have carried the tribe's mark, the collar known as Wang. Each of them began the painful process as a girl when her bones were small and flexible. Even on the young, however, the coils chafe. To achieve the stretched neck look of her elders, she'll have to return every few years to have more coils added. The collar continues to hurt, but for Padang girls, pain is a requirement of belonging. The long neck look is actually an illusion.
It is also believed that the rings have powers to cure ailments and to bestow. Girls begin to wear rings around their shins and necks at the age of 5 or 6, depending on the family's status, meaning that the rings are expensive, and families that cannot afford them go for cheaper brands, which will also determine their daughter's bride price. A maximum of 30 coils are used, making this tradition a lifelong endeavor that requires an extreme level of discipline, patience, and stress, as well as tolerance. As for the origin of wearing brass coil, it is primarily believed that it was to make the women less attractive for men of other tribe to kidnap or even woo.
How do you actually increase the length? What are you doing?
The necks of women here aren't actually getting any longer than those who don't wear the rings. Instead, the dense weight of the brass coils pushes down on the shoulders of the young women who wear them.
Every 2 years, they'll increase the length of the copper chains. They'll take the whole thing off, and then they'll put a new one that is longer.
Elders here proudly don the longest neck coils of all. Sometimes they weigh up to 10 pounds or more.
When it's off, when your neck is...
The longest human neck is over 7 inches. The longest human necks extend to 7.7 inches, belonging to women in the northwestern Thailand. This is about twice the length of an average human neck. As a cultural practice, the tribe fashions heavy brass rings on a female's neck from the ages of 5 to 9, and add more as she ages.
There is also the belief that the Kayans are the descendants of dragons, a union between a female dragon and a male half-human, half-angel hybrid. And in their desire to resemble their ancestors, the women wear coils to imitate the aesthetic of a dragon neck. But what about the men? Whatever the origin, the neck rings are a potential symbol of power and female beauty that has surged in popularity, attracting tourists and researchers to the area, thereby boosting their sociocultural and economic status while also preserving their tradition. This is how the neck ring works. The weight forces the shoulders down. It pushes the clavicle and ribs down. The weight of the ring twists the collarbone, and eventually the ribs at an angle of 45 degrees, causing an illusion of an elongated neck. The neck itself is not elongated. The appearance of the stretched neck is created by the deformation of the clavicle. This cultural practice does have drawbacks of extreme pains and makes chores and farm works more difficult for the women. But fundamentally, the beauty of discipline in maintaining age-long culture that has now yielded revenue and prominence is worthy of emulation. If people learn to embrace discomfort, stress, and remain wholeheartedly positive that when there is life, there is also hope for a better tomorrow. Imagine the impact it would have on lives and relationships with one another in the office or even at home. Augusta Essien, AKBC News.
Well, preserving culture is essential for maintaining the country's rich heritage. It fosters a sense of identity and promotes social cohesion. But sincerely speaking, going through the pains of putting on that ring on the neck, can't one have a long neck without going through the pains of passing through the pains of that ring?
Well, it's rather unfortunate. You could see from the expression on my face that I never liked that.
Feel the pains, you know.
In as much as you're trying to preserve the culture and tradition of your place and perhaps enhance beauty in women, like they said, elegance and all of that, whatever choice. I don't think it's really the best, because it's subjecting the particular, sex, female to some form of enslavement, or you can call it modern slavery. It's not until you sell them out.
No, but what we
look at the pains that they go through in all of that.
What we didn't even really know, is it compulsory that they must pass through that?
Oh, that was said. You saw it began from the tender age. It's not as if it's only when you grow up that you have this. From the tender age, it develops and it goes on steps. So in the process of doing this, it helps to increase your neck. So you can imagine.
But you said something that
7.7 inches.
But you said something that women with long leg
oh yeah, even it's natural. Yeah, it's natural. Most women with long necks are the most beautiful, sexy, and romantic. It's from a study.
Oh, from
a research, so to speak.
All right, we have another interesting one here. It's a World Friendship Day. This is going to be on the break. The World Friendship Day. How much do friends impact your world?
And National Assembly member makes case for Mpainin flood victims.
All this when we come back. Stay with us. Well, it's so good to have you back. In a world that seems chaotic and fast-paced, friendship stands as a beacon of light, brightening our lives with love, understanding, and shared experiences. This explains the United Nations decision of setting aside July 30 as a World Friendship Day to promote and defend shared spirit of human solidarity. In the following report, an intern with AKBC, Blessing Charles, highlights the importance of friendship, what leads to fallouts, and how friendships can be sustained.
Celebrating friendship is a way of recognizing the profound impact it has on our emotional well-being, resilience, and overall quality of life. Genuine friendships provide us with an invaluable source of love, support, and understanding. What are the factors that foster friendship?
I believe the key ingredient of friendship is communication, it's honesty, it's trust, it's loyalty. And so far it has helped my friendship, especially communication, because it has helped to enlighten the other person. It has also helped solve problems. It has helped to make the other person understand that, oh, this is what happened, this is why the person reacted this way. Then as for loyalty, we have that for instance, someone is saying something behind you, the person can confidently stand and be like, no, she's not like that. And then we have honesty. When a person does something like that knows is going to hurt you, the person just communicates and is honest about it instead of just lying. And then we have trust. The person can trust, friends can trust each other to just share their problems, to talk about their lives, personal lives.
So I think navigating friendships like that, though there could be misunderstandings or whatsoever, always try to put your feelings and your emotions aside and think things logically.
Sometimes, friends have misunderstandings which may lead to a breakup. A respondent spoke about her experience.
I have fallen out of friendship, and it was a friendship with my best friend. We had some distance issues, and then life happened, During the whole teenage years, there's this thing of finding your own path. So I found mine, she was finding hers, and at a point, I think I got too busy that I forgot to show that supportiveness to her, which she actually did to me. So there was this imbalance that came at the time, and I felt too much weight on myself to even stretch a hand to somebody. So I had to tell her and that I needed a break, and there's this space and there's this hole that nobody else can fill.
Technology fosters friendship as it has bridged every gap distance could have created through the use of social media and other mobile applications.
In this global world, with the advancement of social media and all, we have Tinder, we have Facebook, we have Instagram. We've had virtual friendships, seriously. I've had series of people I meet on Facebook and also on Instagram that became an integral part of my life. And we moved from just being friends, like we haven't seen, but we just moved from being friends to soulmates. Like with a man, with a woman, either of the gender, we just moved from being friends to soulmates. And they've helped me in several ways, with money, with advice, like so many things. And I'm like saying that, like without social media, I don't know whether some people for just meet themselves. But it's just beautiful what you can do virtually. The world is advancing and it's beautiful to see.
Friendship brings people from different cultures, backgrounds, and religions together, thereby fostering unity, love, and global harmony.
Definitely met friends that impacted me, that their culture impacted me. Like for instance, I have Yoruba friends, I have Igbo friends. I'm also Igbo by the way. I have Ibibio friends, and a lot of their culture has actually impacted me. Their food, I love Efanko, I love Amala, I love a lot of foods that are not from my own culture specifically. And again, I feel like hanging out with someone for a long period of time, you actually pick up some habits, both good and bad.
As we celebrate World Friendship Day, remember, true friendships are like fine wines growing better with age. Cherish the friends who have touched our hearts, the ones who have been there for us through thick and thin, and the ones who have added colors to our life.
I want to give a big shout out to all my amazing friends out there, in no particular order: Abasekeme, Blessing, Charamaka, Edidion, Imo, and Rachel. I really love you guys. Thank you for all your amazing things you've been doing, for all the gifts, for the advice. Happy Friendship Day. I love you all.
Blessing, Charles, AKBC News.
Well, World Friendship Day, our intent there highlights the importance of friendship. We know the importance. A good friend is a company, and that good friend, that company can make you. We know it can also mar you. But let's look at the fallout. Various reasons. Fallouts can occur due to various reasons. Lack of communication, trust issue. If you don't trust your friend, definitely there will be a fallout. Because the friend will look like a frenemy and not really someone you can trust. Different values. If you don't, of course, the scripture has said it, two cannot work together except they agree. And so definitely, if you don't agree on issues, if you have different values, absolutely, that will lead to a fallout. And so she also highlights friendship, how it can be sustained. And how do you sustain your friendship? You trust your friend, building a trust pattern, can sustain your friendship.
Sure. And you know that there are some friends that can as well be a friend in need, and a friend indeed. There are some friends you just have them for being friendly sake, you know, just for some chat or TikTok and things like that.
Yeah.
But there are some friends you need to have, and you know that this is really a friend indeed.
Exactly.
You know, because I remember that there are some friends that can also betray you. You know,
definitely,
you say something.
Definitely.
Perhaps you shared your feelings about something.
Jealousy and envy.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and then they walk up and say, hey, this, that. And they seek your downfall. And these are some of the fallout, like you said.
Exactly.
So it leads to distrust. And then in communication in friendship is as important as life itself. So it needs to, you know, reach out, especially in times like this in Nigeria that we have this economic downturn. It's good to reach out to a friend and just call and say, how are you, my friend? Just like the songwriter says, how are you, my friend?
You have a problem and your friend cannot support you. So lack of support too can lead to a fallout.
And it's not everything that money can buy.
Exactly.
That some friendship can stand out for you. They don't have the money to give, but they are there for you to support, like you said, give you solace and do everything that will make you happy. And it's all good. Thank God for World Friendship Day.
So I have something to go back home and at least strengthen my ways with my friends.
That's
if
right.
I have one.
That's right. All right, moving on. Next story. National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs have been directed to provide relief materials to indigents of Ikorobiokoi and Ikoropadin communities in Bani League government area. Other NBS given directive by the House of Representatives were the Federal Ministry of Environment, Niger Delta Development Commission, and the DC Ecological Fund Office, and relevant government agencies to intervene in remedying hazards caused by flood in those communities. The member representing Ikorabasi Mbani in Eastern Debolo Federal Constituency in the House, Mr. Udrak Odudo, raised the matter in the motion of urgent public importance at plenary. Mr. Odudo lamented the hardship caused by people by the disaster which they had submerged houses and properties worth millions of naira, while making their farmlands and other means of livelihood either inaccessible or completely destroyed.
Worried about the current sad narrative in Ikor Obiokoi and Ikor Padem communities in Paten in local government area of Akwa Ibom State, where in flood has submerged farmlands, houses, and properties. The House also directed the Federal Ministry of Environment, Niger Delta Development Commission, the Ecological Fund Office, other concerned government agencies to promptly intervene and bring forth lasting solutions to the hazard caused by the flood in Ikot Obiokoi and Ikot Padem communities in local government areas of Akwa Ibom State. Lastly, the House liaises with relevant government agencies to relocate flood victims in these communities to a safe area for now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
All right, thank God we have a good representative there that is raising alarm on the flood. Actually,
that's right.
You know, this is the time to actually raise this alarm, and we believe that government will come to the aid of those people affected, the victims.
Yeah, I want to give it to Right Honorable Odudo.
Yeah.
Great job indeed. He didn't just go there and then begin to say, okay, let me study the environment and get to know what's going on. As a true Akwa Ibom person, you know.
You understand the terrain.
Yeah, and he just said, hey, give me a chance. And he quickly, you know, brought it to fore as an urgent of importance, you know, of public importance. How they put it. So I must say to him, thank you, sir, for doing a great job over there. And of course, drawing the attention of the federal government, NEMA, the Ecological Fund, and all the money should also be extended to Akwa Ibom and to those people that are going through all of those natural disasters. You can be very sure that you stand a chance to be given the pep you need, the development you need through such representation. So kudos to honorable member.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Because I know you like me.
I love it, and I eat it a lot.
Okay, so this time we are going straight to Animal Kingdom, and we are going to talk about goat. There are many types of goats in the world with different sizes, shapes, and colors. And the type that is special in this part of the world is the West African dwarf goat. known as Akubusemebut. This goat has over the years decreased in number, reason animal farmers venture into rearing it to increase its population. Do you know how to rear West African dwarf goats, what to feed it, drugs to give it, and how to make them reproduce abundantly? Eyageno Paul brings you tips from the veterinary doctor, animal husbandry expert, and area of this species of goats.
Of recent, there has been a cry by people from this part about local delicious Akubusemebut, West African dwarf goat, going into extinction. Good news is that efforts are in top gear to reproduce the goat in large number for private, public, and commercial consumption. This effort is launched by goat rearers in the state who are doing everything to increase the production of local goats to ensure goat consumers buy tasty and delicious goat that satisfy the taste buds of consumers. It is no news that our local goats are taken to bushes to feed on grass where they are domesticated. But what is unknown to many is the art of rearing these goats at commercial level. Here is African dwarf goat rearer in a Farafium, Nsebibom local government area.
David and I'm saying, come down, Messi man, Mikana. Yes, you are young and terrible, and it's a fianita. You don't get it, you. It's a boy down, I am more. I said, I wasn't them more. I know more, yeah. A man like I'm going, I haven't taken a word now. For the uncle, more. I said more. I know it, more.
A veterinary doctor in the Ministry of Agriculture, Borobod, says many steps are involved in rearing a local goat.
It's a very lucrative business. Number one is how you acquire your stock. That is the animal you want to start the business with. You don't need to go to the market and just buy animal randomly, because most of these animals taken to the market, they are ill or have some defection or the other. So the best way to source for your stock is to go to the farm where they are rearing the animal. The next thing is the way you house it, the housing for the goods, properly ventilated. And we also provide a platform where they go with climb and sleep. Another thing you need to do is to make sure you clean the house every day. That's why even our forefathers says, so you need to deworm them at least nearly every 2 to 3 months. The longest you can go is 3 months. CPR, what I started with, I call it Qatar. You need to vaccinate this goat every year. It's a yearly vaccination. If you don't vaccinate them, you can go for 40, 50. Before you know, you are back to 5.
Shedding more light in breeding a West African dwarf goat, Akubusemebut, the Director of Animal Husbandry, Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Niefio Isong, spoke on the do's and don'ts rearers should observe.
You need to give your goats enough quantity of forage. Goat keeping needs passion. Well, once in a while, you may need to supplement their nutrients, providing them with mineral supplements, such things that we call salt lick. Those animals that have the ability to stand, they have good mothering ability, you have to select them. When giving them their feed, first of all, the feed should not be wet. That is, if you cut the forage today, you keep it to wilt, at least some quantity of moisture that is there, okay, should be lost before you present it. So it's always good that the vet man, okay, is invited to give that veterinary attention.
How do people see this species of goat in this part?
Isi bebe ni manish.
Bebe dingeleza abesa self gestion. Adisa and dum fro. Afumegi ni daga daya uso ko ufak bebe dingan. Then a baby will yen etem. Hey, afulago ufak dingan self. Even if I say every now for rush. Aye, adida aye.
The little that you put, it accepts, and it's very sweet.
And you get very strong. In fact, I had a good for the song for what fin. I'm making it can the Ufo that room had a song as I go one did them. I mean, I get very can do you. I can I been able to think on your young game or get the end of EBU. Had we been I don't do it. Separate about a very buru canyon. Very opportunity, even ye. Because
West African dwarf goat has a delicious taste and aroma, especially the male, referred to as a kwebul.
It is the expectation of my respondents that the West African dwarf goat, known in this part as a Kobusemebut, should be reproduced in large quantity to avoid extinction of the goat. From a farming farm in Afarafion, Eyagenopol, KBC News.
All right.
Wow. It was actually an exciting outing. And from the very king of special reports, Eyagenopol, West African dwarf goats, Okobusem Ebon. And somebody was salivating here.
I'm salivating. Eyageno, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
But do you know, aside from those small in size and they taste very something else. That's why they say Akobusemebut.
And when you scent that comes from through it, that's why it's called Akobusemebut.
So it understands language. That's what it means, Akobusem. This goat actually produces milk as well. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but that's a good one, because we only know that it's only good to serve the meal by way of eating and enjoying. If we talk about this particular species of goat, you can have me when it's in the form of a pepper soup that goes with rice.
Pepper soup.
God. Apart from the conventional way of afiafere with the pounded yam. If you bring one with
I hope you'll be able to sleep this night.
I'm going to sleep in your house tonight. I'm coming over there for this.
All right, it's been an exciting outing out here, and we thank you so much for being part of this special report and Sunday News special. And of course, my gentleman here, the crew member, of course, not forgetting them, and Maggie Boo and the rest of it, and Ayara, and so
all of that.
Okay, we also have people on the control there that are not seeing, they are raising their hands. We thank you so much for making this special report special as it is.
Right, special indeed. And kudos to the management of AKBC and of course to the News and Current Affairs Department. This is lovely.
Not forgetting our director, Florence Omoito, and all our directors anyway. We thank you so much. Until we come your way on this special report again next week. It's bye for now.
It's good night for me. It took me Con's money.
Miriam Ekbutu.